Okay. A couple of things you said also, I think, very important, and I'll add one other thing to it. So you mentioned audio
Mhm.
and lighting. So it has to be crisp audio because if people cannot hear, then they're gonna just skip. And the other thing is the video quality in terms of lighting.
Yep.
Yeah. Lighting is so you don't want it to be too dark, and it doesn't. So make sure you have enough lighting when the video is shot, and also the audio. And the other thing is close-ups,
Yep.
because some of the things, like for example, you mentioned tech stuff, so you have a lot of buttons and
Yep.
knobs and things like that, and then you want to see the setting of it, and then so
Mhm.
that's where you may have close up. So those are things, because at the end of the day, this is all gonna represent you, and
Mhm.
you want to make sure. Okay, cool. So that's the UGC
Yep.
that others. So let's talk about the Amazon Influencer Program, because at the
Yep.
end of the day, this is a program administered by Amazon. So I'm sure they have their own vetting process,
Yes.
and um, however they want these influencers to work, and then ultimately, they are the ones producing. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So I think the most interesting thing about the Amazon influencer program is it's one of the only parts in the Amazon ecosystem where it's like a win 4 different ways. So it's a win for the influencer, the content creator, because they get a small commission if you interact with their content and then make a buying decision. It's a win for the seller because it's helping their conversion rate, it's putting UGC on their product listing, so they're selling more. It's a win for Amazon because the sales are better. And it's a win for the buyer. Amazon's like stated purpose for the program is to help buyers make more confident buying decisions. So it's also helping the shopper, right? And so it's this unique overlap of kind of like every portion of the Amazon ecosystem. Um, so that's kind of like the part that I think is the coolest.
So how does a seller participate in this?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. The first way is, well, the first thing that you as a seller want to do is make sure that your product listing is set up well. And that's going to be your normal optimization, all the things that you as a seller have already done. You're brand registered, you've worked on all of your A plus content, all of those things. But the number one thing is to upload that product video so that you unlock that upper carousel. Influencers are doing similar product research to the way that sellers, when they're first picking out their products, influencers are looking for, is there an upper carousel? How many other influencers are on there, right? All of those things that impact how well their videos are seen and how well it converts for them. So as a seller, the first thing that you'll do if you want to work with Amazon influencers for that content is make sure your listing is set up. The second thing is once that happens, um, there's a chance that you will just organically be attracting content creators, right? Especially if you've got good sales, good ratings, all of those things. If you are a seller listening right now and you haven't already seen this, go check your listing. There's a possibility there are already influencers there. And then kind of the last way is proactively. You can go and actually reach out to content creators in the program, and we can talk a little bit about how to do that. But you can talk to them proactively and ask them if they will create content for on-site, which is how it's said in the program. Um, Amazon influencers are FTC compliant, they're terms of service compliant. And there's 2 differences from the Vine program that I think are important to draw out. One is they cannot leave you a written review. So you can't even include that in your conversation because we get products more often than not sent to us because we're creating content that we earn commission on. We're not allowed to leave like written or starred reviews, just Amazon doesn't like it. Um, but then you can also, their terms of service compliant. So unlike Vine reviewers, where it's that black box, they just send out your product and they're not required to write the review, but they can write the review and you can't ever contact them if they misunderstood how to use your product. Like none of that restriction exists in the influencer space. So you can talk to them, you can email them, you can talk, like all those things that you wish you could do with the Vine reviewers, you're actually terms of service allowed to do with an Amazon influencer.
So as far as these influencers, their motivation is, I mean, other than the fact that they love this kind of stuff,
Of course.
they make money, right?
Correct.
That's the main motivation. And who pays them? Amazon or the seller?
Amazon.
So
Yeah.
it's nothing to do with you.
Nope. And actually, Amazon handles all of the placement. So if I upload this video about my cute little frog, I'm going to tag this crochet kit. And then Amazon is actually going to say, yep, we want that on the product listing. We want it in a search result. We want it on the Inspire feed. Like they manage all of that. But then, you know, every seller, when you are looking at your fees, you come across that referral fee, right? You pay that for every sale that you make. Affiliate and influencer commission come out of your referral fees. So it's not anything additional that the seller is paying to anybody. And so this a lot of times is happening on product listings and people don't even know because there's no increase or change in your expenses. Like if you look at Simple Modern Water Bottle as an example, their listings are filled with influencers, but their cost per sale hasn't gone up. They're not, it's just everybody likes their product. They do a ton of sales, so people want to be on that product listing.
So this is that generally it's 15%. You pay Amazon 15%. So this comes out of that 15%. You don't have to worry about anything because usually when you recruit influencers, you're cutting your own deal, right? Some of them want upfront or some. This is purely performance based. And so how does Amazon connect the dots? In other words, making the purchase
Mm-hmm.
to the influencers. I mean, yeah, whoever created that UGC. So only sales coming out of that UGC, that's what the influencer gets paid on, right?
Correct. Yep. So it's like having, it is an offshoot of the affiliate program. So we also have an ID for our on-site content. And so if you click into one of my videos, it cookies it as you watched my content. And then when you buy, it attributes that sale to me.